Hey folks, and welcome back to Studio Build number 9. So welcome to this latest video folks. It's Studio Build number 9 and it's coming to you from the studio, which I still haven't named. Anyway, let's go in and get on with it. Yes, this has been a little while coming. Sorry it's taken me a while. I've been suffering with a bit of a bad throat actually, and I've been wanting to get around to doing the next video in the studio build for some time. So here we are, out in the studio. And as you can hear, there's still quite a bit of echo in here. So today's video, I want to talk about what we're going to put inside, but first of all, what I need to do with the outside. So what I'm thinking about doing is extending this paving just slightly and then putting in a decking out and around under the underhang here and bringing it all the way along to at least the other side of the door, and so that we get a nice dry area. And also it's going to come up just underneath the lip of this door threshold so that it can keep me dry as I'm coming from the house and out into the studio. And actually, I think the outside the studio looks really great, especially now that we've had the lighting done. At night time, this is what it looks like. And I think you'll agree, it does look rather special, and I'm really pleased with the way it's all coming on. The next thing we need to think about is inside the studio. This space is going to not only be an audio sound recording studio, but also I want to make sure it's flexible and modular enough to be used for video recording, as a rehearsal space for the band occasionally, and certainly as a live recording and potentially live broadcast space for the band. Which means I need various bits of kit. In the past, I've always been really happy using my little S16, the Zoom, which is great. It's got 8 great multi-functional inputs. It's got a great set of condenser mics already on it. And this does me for most of my recording requirements. However, in the studio, I think you'll agree, I need something probably a little bit more professional and more flexible, with a little bit more scope for growth in it than this. In that respect, I'm quite lucky in that I already do quite a lot of audio work outside with live shows and bands, so I have already got quite a bit of kit that I can use in the studio. I'm thinking that rather than going to a bespoke recorder like the R16, I will use my computer a little bit more. And I checked it out recently, and the specs on it are not bad. I spoke to Overclockers UK, and I've got a Core i7, Intel Core i7. It's a 920 processor, which is a quad core, with each core has got 2 threads, if you like. And so that works really well. It's perfectly okay for video editing up to 1080, and it's been great when I've used Cubase LE, which came with the R16. And I've also got Pro Tools 10, which I'm learning, and it is a bit of a steep learning curve, but I'm enjoying it, so I may well make this recording studio a Pro Tools-based studio. Before I go away and buy any more kit, I really need to think about what I need and what I've already got. So I've got quite a bit of kit already. So some of what I've already got, I've got a Behringer X32, which I bought when they took over Midas and Clark Technic, because if anybody's ever used Midas desks, the preamps on those are fantastic, and this has got Midas preamps in it. And it's also got Clark Technic multi-effects in there, so they really do work well, and actually they sound better than the Zoom multi-effects, which are great in their own right on this little R16, but you get what you pay for. This is a £2,500 board, and this is a £250 purpose-built recorder. So there's going to be a big difference. But the main thing about this Behringer is there's 2 things that are really flexible about it. Number one, it's got USB or Firewire connection to the computer, so it can be used as a digital audio workstation. And secondly, this S16 stage box that I bought for live work allows me to connect up via this RJ45 Cat6 cable. And then that allows me to put the input and output sockets, 16 Midas inputs with Midas preamps on and 8 outputs, mixes, to anywhere in the studio. So I can have the sound desk at one end of the studio, and I can have my breakout box at the other end for the instruments and the like. So that gives me a lot more flexibility than this little module does in this space. I've also got various bits of kit, and I've also got keyboards, guitars, basses, and all that sort of stuff. But what I don't have yet is a drum kit, and I think we need to address that. So I've been thinking about getting hold of one of the Roland TD kits, and I've been looking at everything from about the TD11 KV, or K, right the way up to the TD50 KV, which is their latest flagship model. I really feel that having the flexibility to have some live drums or some really properly triggered drums would be a great thing to have in the studio. I want this to be a silent studio, really, so to be able to monitor everything when you're playing with headphones, when you're playing live, and the only live thing being the vocals. So having an electronic drum kit, A, it allows multiple different kits on sample libraries. B, it allows it to be very nice and quiet, and this studio is not designed to restrict the sound going out, but to prevent sound coming in, as you can hear. So that's the idea of this studio setup. And so having a silent drum kit or a very quiet drum kit is going to be beneficial, particularly as it is in my garden, and I don't really want to upset the neighbours. Let me know what you think about the drum kit. In fact, my good friend Sean Redman, whose birthday it is tomorrow. Happy birthday, Sean. Have a good one, mate. Many happy returns. What he does is he creates, exactly as I do, drum tracks from MIDI tracks that then he triggers samples from. And what I tend to do is chop up WAV samples and rearrange them to make the tracks I want. But obviously that doesn't cut it live. And I would like to do some live broadcast band work from here as well for you guys and for various other projects. And so I think having a kit that can physically be played is going to be really useful. Having the flexibility of being able to program and load any drum kit pretty much from any sample library in the world onto it is also going to be great. That's my plan. Let me know what you think. The other thing that I do need is I need some flexible damping. So again, because I want this to be modular, I want to create some sectioning. And maybe somebody's suggested to me office dividers might work, but I've also been looking at some videos online using household items and creating frames to create nice physical sound deadening acoustic panels and the like. And also I probably will buy some acoustic foam, some bass traps for the corners in the area where I'm going to be mixing. But what I really want to make sure is that all of this is movable and storable so that I can keep the space really flexible and creative. Obviously, I'm looking to get some rugs, and there'll be drape and or potentially floor-mounted drape and borders to deaden the sound and make it a little less echoey. I think you can probably pick up most of the echo on this video. This room's got nothing in it at the moment. Obviously, it's completely empty other than the kit I've been showing you and me. So there's nothing to soak up the reflections at the moment. I'm going to need to put something in place for that. And I'm looking for modular ideas. So if you can come up with some ideas on that front, I'd be really interested to hear them. And also the actual control desk, the workstation desk. I'm thinking of actually building something myself to create exactly the size, shape and ergonomics that I need, and also to put it on wheels so that once again that can be wheeled out of the way. The kit, the drum kit, is likely to be mounted on a movable platform that can also be locked down, obviously for good reason. But I want to be able to move things around, slide them about and get them out of the way when I need a bigger space to do video work or rehearsal space, all that good stuff. So give me some of your ideas and your feedback on that, on damping and physical separation that's flexible. As I say, I'm open to potentially buying some new studio monitors, although my Panasonic amp and my Technic speakers I have been using as reference monitors for years, so that I know them so well in terms of how they colour the sound. But I do think it might be worth me buying a set of near-field monitors, and I'm looking at some Yamaha, I think they're LS7 or LS8s at the moment. They're only a budget range, but they give a great flat response, allegedly. I'd like to know what you think about that. Also, there's going to be some restriction on where I can place those because they're back ported for the bass ports. They've got ports at the back. So you can't put them too close to walls or flat surfaces because they tend to distort and reflect the bass incorrectly. So I've got to think about that. I also know that there's some JBLs that everybody's raving about at the moment that have got very specially shaped tweeters that give you a much better clear representation and clean representation of top end. Tell me what you think in the comments down below. I have been doing my research on YouTube and looking at tons of different videos, but I really would like your feedback and ideas. I hope this hasn't put you off today. Again, part of getting some of the kit out that I use for live work, I've picked up one of the radio packs, and I'm trying that out with the Canon 5D Mark II, which I love the picture quality of, but it's a pain in the neck having to have a separate boom mic, even though that Sennheiser MKH416 is a fantastic mic. This is much more convenient because I can move around and I don't have to worry about where it is or if I'm pointing towards the mic. So hopefully this has come out all right and this sounds okay, and if so, I might use it more often. Certainly in the studio it makes a lot of sense. I can move freely around if I want to demo stuff, and it doesn't get in the way when I want to play. I don't think it picks up as well the instrument that I'm playing as well as the MKH does, but hey, when I need to pick up an instrument, I'll mic it. Let me know what you think for this video and also for future video content, folks. I have got the Explorer coming from AliExpress, but that's being very slow. They've given me a tracking number 2 weeks ago and it hasn't started working yet. So again, buyer beware, these things happen and they do take longer than they say. Also, I've been suffering, I think I said at the start of the video, with a really bad throat recently, so it's taken me a while to get round to this video. The other thing that I've got coming up is I've got another guitar coming as well, which I think you'll be really interested in. So, there you have it. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. And if you have, make sure you give it a like. And if you really liked it and want to see more of my content and more of what happens with the studio build, then please subscribe. In the meantime, until the next video, folks, take care.